Hey everyone, I hope you're all doing really well. Today I want to share with you a first quarter update for my makeup spending and acquiring. I don't know what I'm necessarily going to call this because I'm not technically on a low buy this year, but I am being more conscious and more aware of my makeup consumption, and that's something I want to do ongoing outside of just 2022. But I wanted to recap today with you kind of my reflections on this past quarter and whether or not I was able to achieve some of my goals that I set out for myself. So there are two other videos that I think would be really beneficial if you're not familiar with kind of my purchasing ideas for this year. One is my 2021 low buy reflections video because I spoke about my experience on a low buy last year. And then I also set myself some goals and intentions for 2022 consumption. And then I also shared my 2022 product specific no buy. So I am actually on a no buy on 6 different product categories, that being glowy primers, complexion or base products, so foundations and tinted moisturizers, basically anything that's an all over face coverage kind of product, powder highlighters, brow products in general, every and any type of brow product, lip liners, and cream blush. I'm on a complete no buy of those categories, at least for the first half of the year. However, I imagine these all just needing to be a year-long thing for me. I'm glad to say I haven't brought any products from any of those categories into my life at all this first quarter. So I have 3 kind of main purchasing goals for the entirety of 2022, and I have the opportunity to reevaluate these every quarter. The first one being that I didn't want to receive PR at all for the first quarter of the year, and unfortunately I did end up breaking that at the maybe middle of February. I ended up accepting an opportunity for PR from Merit Beauty, and it was these 2 products right here that I did accept. The opportunity did include the signature lip. That was the new release that was coming out, and I actually was genuinely so very curious to try out this formula. Their creamy cheek products are really beautiful, so when they said that they were coming out with actual like cream bullet lipsticks, I was like, they're going to be amazing, just given the textures that I'm familiar with from their highlighter, their blush, and their foundation. I knew that they would be able to formulate these kinds of products really well. I did receive the shade Baby as the first one. This is a stunning, soft, kind of dusty mauve kind of color. Really gorgeous, more natural kind of lipstick shade. And this color lends really well to this balmy kind of texture. They're very sheer on application and you can build them up for sure. You can keep working this product and building it up constantly, and so you can get a full-on impact, but you can also get a very sheer application with minimal effort, and I love this texture for that. This lipstick I think goes well with so many different looks, and I will be wearing so much of this lipstick. I've already worn it several times since I did get it in PR. And then I also received the shade Tiger, and this color, when I saw that this was a color that they were coming out with, I knew I needed to try it because last year, I believe, I decluttered my Ofra Havana Nights, which was a burnt orange kind of lipstick shade. And at the time when I did declutter it, I said I wanted something comparable to it in a bullet lipstick formula. And this, although it's not the exact same, this is a bit more of a brown version of it. This gives me that vibe and it is perfect. It's so perfect. I love this kind of terracotta, warm orange shade. There was an opportunity from Merit to actually not only pick out 2 of the lipstick shades that were upcoming for launch, but they actually also said pick out an entire full face of products. And I decided against that. I did send them an email and asked, am I still available for this opportunity? Would you be okay with me accepting this opportunity if I didn't accept the full face of additional products? I already love and know your formulas. I'm already familiar with them, and I still have a lot of them in my collection. And they said that that was no problem. Just fill out the form with only just my lipstick selections. And so I'm really happy that I was able to, have that level of restraint because I already know that I I probably wouldn't mind another one of their lip glosses or their complexion sticks because they are really beautiful formulas, but I have absolutely no need for those in my life, so I decided against them and I just accepted the lipsticks, and I'm so happy that I did. Yes, I went back on my my desire to avoid PR, but I haven't had any makeup PR in so long that it was really exciting, and I do think that both of these shades and this formula does add some value to my collection, so I am happy that I did decide to bring them in, and I'm happy that I had that restraint to not accept the entire full face of additional products. So yeah, very grateful for the opportunity to try these out. So that goal I did unfortunately not meet. However, I'm just going to tell myself that I'm going to be extremely selective with PR, and I've used that kind of phrasing in the past, and I wasn't really selective, I feel like, when I look back on it. But I feel like my mindset about PR has just changed so much. I'm not mad at myself. I know that I didn't necessarily achieve that goal, but I'm totally okay with that. And yeah, that it is what it is. One of my additional goals was to track my purchases for all beauty categories. Now, I don't want to sit here and talk through every single category or every single item rather, that I have brought into my life so far this year. That would just be so annoying and so daunting, but I have been doing so. I have a Google spreadsheet, so I'll insert some screenshots so you can see all of the other kind of categories minus makeup. Mostly it has been skincare and body care. Yeah, basically that's it. I think I've maybe purchased a shampoo and a conditioner, but these are all of the makeup adjacent kind of product categories, and I feel like none of this is excessive. I am really getting to this point in my life where it's like a one in, one out for most categories. I feel like everything that I've brought in the last few months was really considerate and made sense, and a lot of these are items that are repurchases and products that I know and love, and I know that I'll use them up in their entirety as well. And then my final kind of goal was to add fewer items to my collection than my empties total. So let's talk about what I've brought into my life, and then we can just talk a little bit about my empties thus far at this point in the year. Of course, numbers are going to shift throughout the year, but let's talk about it. So the makeup that I've brought into my life so far is only mascara. I haven't purchased any other product category at all in 2022 yet, except mascara. And I bought 4 mascaras. So the first mascara that I purchased was in the early parts of February. It was within that first week of February. It is the CoverGirl Exhibitionist Mascara. I have been using this exclusively ever since I got it. I haven't used any other mascaras. I don't have any others that are open. It is the one that I'm wearing today for that very reason. It is okay. I don't love it. I don't think this is an item I will repurchase. Actually, I've decided already. Not gonna repurchase it, not gonna bring it into my life again. This isn't my favorite formulation. I feel like I have to kind of build it up. This wand is nice, and I find I don't make too much of a mess with it, even though it's quite large for my little eyes, but it is nice. It does seem to coat the lashes okay. And now that I've had it open for just about like 2 months, like I'm filming this on April 2nd, it's only been like 2 months since I got it. It is starting to get very dry, and it's even more difficult to build it up and get the impact that I want. So I have worn makeup quite a lot in the past couple months, so I have worn this a lot, but I do wish that this would have a little bit more longevity. So I've had to kind of sit on it while I'm doing the rest of my makeup lately to kind of warm up the product and get as much mascara applied and onto my lashes. So it's not my favorite just because it has been a little bit more tedious than other formulations. So not something that I'm going to repurchase, but I bought it because it was affordable. It was $8.79 and it was accessible. I bought it at the grocery store as well. And then I ended up purchasing 3 of the mini Bite Beauty mascaras. So this is the Upswing mascara, and yes, I am not the kind of person who would generally buy backups or multiples of something, but last year I had the opportunity through, one was a point perk and another was like a promo code from Sephora. I had the opportunity to try out this Upswing formula 2 different times, and I loved it both times that I purchased it or like had access to it. I didn't actually buy it, but I got it into my life. And both of those minis that I had that were sample sizes, I adored, and they lasted me for such a long time. They lasted about 3 to 4 months, even though they were minis. And I just loved the way that it looked on my lashes. I loved the kind of curl and impact that it gave my lashes, the volume, the length, and the saturated, deep, rich black color. I was finding that it just was my favorite. It really had become quickly my favorite sort of formula and look. And so these went on sale at the kind of beginning to middle of February. I can't exactly remember when it was, but these were on sale for half price. So generally these minis, which are 0.25 fluid ounces, these are usually $18 a piece, and I was able to purchase them for $9 a piece. So $27 collectively for these 3 mascaras, which is kind of costly when it comes to mascara, but I do figure that this is probably about 9 to 12 months worth of mascara right here in front of me, even though these are minis. At the time, the full size was also on sale, but I figured out that the full size doesn't even contain double what the minis contain. The full size actually has 0.4 fluid ounces in it, and they're priced at $37 regularly. So on that half off sale, they were $18.50, which makes no sense because a mini size is $18 and it contains 0.25 fluid ounces. So it contains more product per dollar, if that makes any sense. So when I worked it out, 2 of these end up being significantly more product than the full size. This is 0.5 fluid ounces worth of mascara. And then the additional one just took me to it making way more feasible sense for me to purchase this, because I ended up getting all 3 of these for less than one full size would usually cost. And honestly, I was going to buy this mascara. It is a mascara that I was going to end up purchasing. It just happened to be great to purchase it on a discount. So that's why I got multiples. I didn't want to go so excessive and get like 4 or 5 or 6, but I'm happy to say that I have like a year's supply of this mascara. But that's the only makeup that I've purchased so far this year. So I have only bought 4 mascaras, one of which is on its way out. I'll probably be done with it by the end of this month. And then the remaining 3 are just gonna take me through the rest of 2022 and into 2023 possibly. I'm kind of thinking possibly at some point during this summer, I may need to purchase a waterproof one just because I'm a sweaty girl. So it might be necessary to get the CoverGirl Lash Blast, like the green one, the Clump Crusher, for my lower lashes and maybe even just for my top lashes as like a top coat. So I might end up bringing a 5th mascara into my life for this year, but yeah, that's fine. I'm totally cool with that because it's a category that I'm using often and I use up to completion in a decent amount of time as well. Now we are over 12 weeks into this year and I've purchased only 4 things. However, I am considering my PR as makeup acquisitions as well this year. So technically speaking, I have 6 new products that have come into my life. And my goal is to bring in fewer items than Empties. And I'm glad to say that I've actually emptied 7 makeup products so far this year. So you've seen a majority of them in my most recent Empties video, but I wanted to share them with you today as well. I will be very brief about these, but I did finish off a mini of the Bite Beauty mascara. This is the one that I did get as a point perk. So this is the wand, just for reference. It is quite large, but I do think that it offers so much curl and it really makes my lashes have so much drama, so much volume. I adore it. I think this is just the perfect kind of wand for my personal needs. I like a very dramatic and almost clumpy kind of lash. I do like that look. I think it just brings a lot of attention to my small eyes, and that's what I prefer. And then I also finished off a, I wanna say Melt, but it's Milk Kush Mascara. Not a favorite of mine anymore. I used to love this formula, but when I finished off this empty, I didn't find myself too concerned. I wasn't missing the formula at all, and I wasn't actually enjoying it throughout the process either. I have finished off 2 kind of powder products, one being the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder. I finished this maybe 2 months ago at this point, and I'm so happy. I'm still riding that high. Honestly, I don't think I'll ever shut up about having finally finished that. And I ended up mixing in my NYX highlighting powder in the shade Nectar into that in order to finish those two. So I did finish this as well, which counts as a powder highlighter empty, which is amazing. I'm so happy about that. And I finished off this. Now it looks so grubby, but this is the Merit Brow Gel. This is the shade Blonde. I got out every possible bit of product that I could from this. I took out the stopper and I used this to absolute completion. This wand is a little bit too big for my personal preferences. It's you know, it's not massive by any means, but it is a little big, so I found myself sometimes getting a little bit out of the lines, out of sorts with my brows, but I liked it enough to finish it off entirely. And then I did finish off 2 lip glosses, so product number 6 and product number 7, one being the Becca Glow Gloss in the shade Opal, and then my Bite Beauty French Press Lip Gloss in the shade Flat White. Neither of these are available. I definitely preferred the Becca over the Bite one, but I'm happy I flew through this at the beginning parts of this year so I can move on to some of my lip gloss formulas that I do prefer. So 7 items out of my collection, 6 new items have come into my collection, but I am totally okay with that. At least I am still achieving that goal of bringing in less than I'm able to empty. And really, like, this is going to be an empty very soon as well, so that will allow me like another slot for a new product, but I'm not really that keen to bring anything into my life right now. The desire to bring anything new in just doesn't really faze me because my goal is really to use and love on what I already have. And the more I say that out loud and the more that I speak to having more than enough in my collection, it really does cement it more and more and make me feel more and more satisfied with what I have on hand. I have no desire right now to bring in basically anything that's new. And like I said, I'm filming this on the 2nd of April, so technically the Sephora sale has already started. I am a VIB. Last year I somehow managed to get VIB status. I bought a lot of like gifts and I did buy some skincare and stuff last year for myself. So I get 15% off, but that's not really even alluring for me to want to purchase any new makeup. I do think I will purchase the Inky List Cleansing Balm because I have been missing that, and I just finished off the e.l.f. Holy Hydration, which I'll share in an Empties soon. I think that's what it is, Holy Hydration Cleansing Balm. I was semi-tempted to get a Tower 28 lip gloss because I have already finished off 2 from my collection, but I spent some time with my collection and swatching my lip glosses, and I feel like the majority of them are very full and they fit my desires just perfectly, so I'm not going to purchase any makeup in the upcoming sale, which is really exciting for me, actually. I'm excited to not purchase anything new. I do have some big goals for saving for this coming, upcoming quarter because we have quite a lot of projects we want to do for our house in the coming years and even later on in the summer. So that's my priority right now. My priority isn't makeup, and as much as this channel is makeup centric, I just don't really feel like bringing anything new into my life. That's just the end. At the end of the day, that's just where I'm at, and I'm so content and I'm so happy in that. Of course, next quarter, my mindset could definitely change, but for now, I am going to still continue to allow myself to be open to the opportunity for PR if it makes sense and if it fits with my life and with my channel and just with my own desires. But I'm also going to not create any sort of limit on myself of what I can bring into my life, but I feel very secure and very certain in the fact that I'm not really going to bring any excessive amount of products into my life because that's just not where my mindset is right now. So that's why I'm not creating that kind of limitation on myself. I don't feel like it's necessary, but I am rambling beyond comprehension at this point. I am so sorry. I want to wrap it up here today on a high note and say thank you so much for watching. And yeah, I hope that if you are on a low or a no buy, just kind of talking through where I'm at right now, I hope that it really does help you if you're struggling. Please let me know if you are and you want to kind of talk through that, because we can definitely have more conversations about this sort of topic. I love talking about not buying makeup just as much as I used to love talking about buying new makeup. I do think I want to do a video on the products that have tempted me over this first quarter of the year, so let me know if you're interested in seeing that. But yeah, that is everything. Thank you so much for watching and for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye everyone.